Coming up next on We Are Marshall Today, advances in technology mean better health care for West Virginians. We'll have the story.
Plus, a favored son of Marshall returns to the area for a special day. These stories and more up next on We Are Marshall Today. Hello and welcome to We Are Marshall Today. I'm Leah Clark Payne.
And I'm Dan Hollis. Marshall University officials, along with U.S. Senator Jay Rockefeller, recently announced the completion of a high-tech medical fiber which will help ensure health care for thousands of rural West Virginians.
The Huntington area Metro Fiber build began in 2007 as part of a larger statewide initiative. More in this report from Adam Cavalier.
Calling cyber infrastructure as important as roads and water service, Senator Jay Rockefeller announced details of the initiative, which will provide faster and better health care to West Virginians.
Soon, West Virginians from all over the state will be able to get the medical expertise they need from doctors who they never see and don't need to see necessarily. But they're doctors just as if they were doctors sitting in the same clinical room with those patients. And they don't have to leave their communities.
Rockefeller joined representatives from Cabell Huntington Hospital, St. Mary's Medical Center, the Joan C. Edwards School of Medicine, and Marshall University for the announcement. The new high-tech fiber allows physicians in rural parts of the state to transmit images to specialists at larger medical centers around the Mountain State. Marshall University President Dr. Stephen Kopp says the project allows for faster transmission time, improves access to health care, and in the long run will mean better health care for rural West Virginians.
This project is a very futuristic project, and it took leadership in Washington at the federal level to realize the benefits and to advocate and successfully lead the development of this type of technological advancement.
The Fiber Build project connects some 100 rural hospitals across the state and, according to Rockefeller, is foundational to 21st century medicine.
This program is the future of our healthcare system. I believe that. And it's technological. But it isn't just technological. It's technology making all of you available to the people. And therefore, it's old-fashioned medicine, too.
The project is part of a rural healthcare pilot program guided by the West Virginia Telehealth Alliance. For We Are Marshall Today, I'm Adam Cavalier.
And joining us now is Marshall University's Senior Vice President for Information Technology and Chief Information Officer, Dr. Jan Fox. Dr. Fox, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Technology is changing our world and helping our communities, as we just witnessed in the story about the Fiber Build project. How difficult was that project to get going, and how were some of those challenges met?
That was about a 5-year project. We started actually in 2006, put the proposal in 2007, and dealt with lots of meetings and lots of technical investigation to make sure this worked. But we have a tremendous network now, and it really is not just built for now, it's built for the future, where we see healthcare is going, all the huge data that's needed for healthcare, and then taking that data into our research centers and actually preventing diseases instead of just fixing them after they've caused.
Are there already plans to expand the project maybe?
Well, right now it's actually, the West Virginia Telehealth Project, this was one piece. They're connecting the rural clinics, and so what you have is kind of a hub and spoke. You have the big hospitals and the big research centers with lines out to those smaller communities so that they can really get to the specialists, and we can start collecting all that data and analyzing it off the back end.
Well, generally speaking, technology is not only changing the healthcare system, but higher education as well. And the speed at which some of those changes are occurring has to create all kinds of issues in and of itself. Let's talk about some of those issues. How difficult is it to keep your team up to speed?
Yeah, we learn every day. I literally, and my staff, all the staff, are learning something. You don't physically have to go somewhere to learn. I start very early in the morning reading and interacting, and it's not just reading anymore. I interact with YouTube videos and all kinds of webinars. Same thing with our staff. We also have requirements that staff are kept up to date. So you can't do your job in this business unless you're really keeping on that edge.
Well, how does the university deal with some of the expense maybe of staying current and on the cutting edge?
Expense is always a concern. You have to stop doing things that you don't need to do anymore. That's always the hardest thing. So at any, whether it's an institution or a business, you really have to make the tough decisions and decide where strategically you're going to place your money. Just like you saw in the fiber project, that was a strategic investment. Again, not just for now, but how we see things going. We're investing a lot more into wireless and mobile technologies because that's where we're going, and stopping other investments that aren't going to get us where we need to go.
Are there any other obstacles that we haven't talked about maybe that are out there?
Well, it was just, you know, the sheer speed of this coming at us. It's hard for anyone to accept. We have faculty that are, you know, tremendous instructors, absolutely tremendous, but trying to keep up with all these new tools is kind of like lots of shiny objects. And what do you put your time on? As a faculty member, you know, what do you take time to really learn and focus on that will get you further with your students? These are all just tools. It's all it is a tool. And what tool do you use for your expertise?
Well, let's talk about some of that, maybe technology in the classroom. What kind of things are out there that help professors, and how are professors using some of that?
It's you know, we're getting ready for Cyber Infrastructure Day, and really demonstrating things that people kind of see edges of on TV shows, things like PhotoSense, that where all the images that people take. People are taking pictures all the time on their iPhones and different things and tagging them. I was here with so-and-so. All that data can be collected. And then you start analyzing not just from what we normally think of technology and research and science, but for the fine arts in different areas, so that you have whole new worlds of looking at information and visual information, using simulations and visualizations to really understand insides of things, insides of cells or pictures or paintings or all kinds of things. So we have so much information before us. The challenge is getting all that information and understanding it and putting it together in some type of reasonable, understandable format so we can learn more from it. So what we'll see in technology are not just faster, cheaper, smaller machines. Machines, as you saw with Watson on Jeopardy, have artificial intelligence. They learn. They have natural language. They learn. So a lot of the problems we have in this world, we have some real tools before us to really, things that are just voluminous to us, we can't get our hands around, are easy for computers to do. And
obviously the way students engage with the material is changing too.
If you've seen anything, it's the sheer, they have different brains. Their neurons are connected different than when I grew up. They're on different planes, they have lots of information, they think in different ways. Maybe, you know, what we as higher education is how do you take that new learning tool and thought process and end up with students who really have the depth we need to have as citizens.
Yeah, and how they mentally get around the idea of their world changing is interesting. Their brains really are different than ours.
They are different.
Wow. We've seen changes in technology, as you've mentioned, from desktop to laptops to smartphones. Smartphones are everywhere these days. How is that impacting education?
It's the whole mobility, what you have available on your body at any one time. We're wearing computers. We're wearing more powerful computers than actually what it took to go to the moon. So that's hard to fathom, of understanding the power that's physically on us, that understands what we need and then personalizes the information to our needs. That will be the next generation. You don't go to it, it will help you based on what you need. And
obviously the university has its mission to keep in current with the technology. Maybe talk for just a few minutes maybe about you personally and your favorite techie toy. What is that?
I am not a techie person, and I really don't have techie toys. You know, what I do is look for things that have not yet been created. So just as I did this morning very early, putting together pieces of ideas of things that if we put them together have much more power as tools. And again, these are all just tools. It's our internal ability to take these tools, take them to the next generation, and use them to better the world. That is our purpose and role. It's not this techie tools and fun things. We're here for a purpose.
Well, Dr. Fox, thanks for being here. Much appreciated. Coming up next on We Are Marshall Today, leaders of tomorrow gather on campus to learn a little strategy. We'll have the details.
As you think about your future, who's your competition? Who are your chief competitors? I notice some of you looking to your right and left at your neighbors. You need to think bigger, much bigger. Choose Marshall University. Big enough to matter, small enough to care. Immerse yourself in your learning. Connect with your professors and have fun learning. That's important too. Find your passion, pursue your dreams. Marshall University.
Prescription drug abuse and misuse is a serious problem. Taking inappropriately prescribed medication is just as dangerous and deadly as street drugs. So it's important for you to know it is illegal for you to share your medication or take medication prescribed to someone else.
My name's Emily, and in 7 years, I'll be an alcoholic. I'll start drinking in 8th grade, but my parents won't really notice because I'll do okay in school and everything will seem okay, but everything won't be okay.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults. So start talking before they start drinking.
Marshall University students hoping to gather information on a major or minor found what they were looking for recently at the Student Center. The annual Majors, Minors, and More Fair features displays from academic units across campus and gives students a chance to ask questions in an informal setting.
We do this twice a year, once in the fall, once in the spring, and what we do is invite all the different colleges and departments within the colleges to participate so that students who have not decided on a major or they're maybe reconsidering or looking to add a minor, they can come and talk to the different departments and colleges all in one setting and get the information they need.
Gallagher says students who have questions about selecting a major can give her office a call at 696-3464. While some students see Assessment Day as a break from classes, administrators hope it's one of the most productive days of the year. Earlier this month, the university's annual Assessment Day allowed academic units across campus to gauge how they are doing through a variety of methods. Students, faculty, and staff participated in focus groups, town hall type meetings, direct assessments, and surveys. The information is then collected by the Office of Assessment.
Marshall University recently partnered with the Department of Veterans Affairs for the 2nd Annual Veterans Career Expo. The event offered veterans a one-stop shop for everything from employment to applying for VA benefits. Organizers say veterans sometimes struggle with job searches because in the military they are assigned positions. Statistics show that about 22% of male veterans between the ages of 18 and 24 are unemployed. Marshall's Career Services helped organize the event.
For the 8th year in a row, Marshall University students have helped the hungry in the Huntington area with the annual Empty Bowls fundraiser. Marshall's College of Fine Arts and the School of Journalism and Mass Communications assist in the effort, with art students making ceramic bowls, which are then sold as part of the lunch. The journalism students help promote the event. The topic of food and healthy lifestyle is the focus of a new book being written by a Marshall University alumnus. Journalism grad Brent Cunningham is back in his home state writing a book about the efforts to build a healthy food culture in Huntington. Cunningham and his wife, former Washington Post food writer Jane Black, say the project stems from celebrity chef Jamie Oliver's reality television show, which was filmed in Huntington. Cunningham graduated from Marshall with a journalism undergraduate degree and a master's in political science. He is the managing editor of the Columbia Journalism Review.
Coach Doc Holliday has his team running drills and preparing for another football season. Holliday, in his 2nd year as coach of the Thundering Herd, says his team has already seen some improvement over last year.
You look at guys, I think some of their bodies have changed. That offensive line group, the Tenney, the big red-headed kid, he looks like a player now. He didn't even look like a player a year ago. So, you know, I think for the most part we're pretty good shape physically, but this time it's not how, we really focused on getting strong, and we did that.
Spring practice concludes with the annual Green and White game scheduled for April 23rd at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. Marshall takes on West Virginia in its season opener September 3rd in Morgantown. Well, they are young, bright, and articulate students who are some of tomorrow's leaders.
Dan, Marshall University recently hosted a seminar for about 70 young women who are learning just what success really means. Lay the foundation for success is what motivational speaker Tish Norman hopes to accomplish as she travels the country speaking to young women. Norman, who is the founder of a leadership consulting company, says all too often young women are bombarded with images that imply outward beauty is the key to getting ahead.
My messages, my educational programs are like motivational Pilates. I'm giving you the stuff to help you work from the inside out. It's not going to just fix this, because we can see aesthetically beautiful people all the time who are ugly on the inside. So if we start here in the middle and work our way out, then you'll be beautiful and strengthened and empowered starting on the inside and then working your way out.
Norman served as the keynote speaker for Marshall's Ivy Academy. Middle and high school students from across the tri-state attended the event, including Naja Feckler, a junior at Huntington High School.
I'm kind of shy when it comes to stuff like that, but today I've learned that I can be a leader if I put myself towards it.
The university's Office of Multicultural Affairs and Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority co-sponsored the event. Joining us now is Dr. Shari Clarke, who is Vice President for Multicultural Affairs here at Marshall University. Shari, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Leah.
We just saw a story about the Ivy Academy, and what a fantastic event. How did that come about?
In the office, we just started working more closely with the Women's Center. In fact, they're now reporting to Multicultural Affairs. And one of the issues we noticed is that there are a lot of societal concerns regarding young girls. Girls are more likely to be teased, the issue of bullying, the issue of sexual harassment, and what's happening to girls in our middle and high schools. So I partnered with Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which happens to be my sorority, and we looked at how could we work together as a university and a sorority to make something positive for girls in our school system. And so the Ivy Academy became a reality. And it was a whole focus on leadership for girls. How do they leave with more motivation? How do they become encouraged? How do they develop their self-esteem? And that was what the whole Ivy Academy was about.
We were over there that day that the Ivy Academy was going on, and it was just a fantastic event. Tish Norman was an excellent speaker, great motivator. Do you anticipate this being an annual event?
We hope to hold it every other year. So there will be another Ivy Academy in 2013. We do plan to continue it and to continue to work together.
Oh, and I wanted to ask you, where did the name come from? Ivy Academy, what does that represent?
Well, anytime you look at an Ivy League institution or anything that deals with Ivy is always the highest you can achieve. And Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, which happens to be the first Black Greek letter organization founded for women in 1908, when their young women are becoming part of the organization, they are Ivies until they become full-fledged members. So hence, the focus on higher education with Ivy League and Ivies as a pledge process, so the Ivy Academy.
Okay, makes sense. You've been at Marshall now almost 3 years. Has it met your expectation? Are you happy with where you are with your programs?
Marshall exceeds my expectations. It is a phenomenal institution. I've been really pleased to be a part of the vice presidential team. We have phenomenal leadership under President Kopp. People here are really concerned about students. No student here is a number. People are concerned about who you are, giving you the very best holistic experience you can have in and outside the classroom. Marshall is a great place to be. I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else.
Let's talk for just a second. Very briefly, you came to us from another institution.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your history with diversity programs and that type of thing.
I started out doing diversity at Whitman College in Walla Walla, Washington, almost 20 years ago. So it's been a long, long history. And I would always go to places that were somewhat isolated. From Whitman College to the University of Maine to the University of Nebraska. So I've had a long history of doing diversity in different types of institutions. And I think it's just so pivotal that as our society becomes much more global and we have to interact with one another in the workplace, we need to be comfortable with each other. We need to know who we're working with, who we're interacting with. And higher education is a great place to do that. In the residence halls, in the dining hall, in classrooms, you need to interact with people who are different from yourself and to learn to step outside your own comfort level. And hopefully that's what my office encourages people to do, to get to know people who have a different background, a different ethnicity, a different ideology.
Get to know people for who they are.
That's exactly right. And move beyond the whole issue of race and ethnicity. Try to get to know the individual, but still value who that person is and what they bring.
Marshall University and Huntington, West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia have not always been very diverse. 30 years ago, when I was growing up in Appalachia, you hardly ever saw anyone that was different than you. That has changed. Now it's not just big cities like New York and Miami. We see people that are different from us in our cities and towns. Why is that? Why have we had such a change? Is it just the globalization of the world?
I think it is the globalization, and it's the influx of different cultures. The Hispanic Latino culture is the fastest growing minority group in the country. By the year 2020, I believe they're expected to be the majority population. So the influx of the Hispanic Latino culture is really significant. And you see people moving outside of what used to be their little neighborhood or their community. So people are going to places because of positions or opportunities, which means our communities become much more diverse.
Now tell me, the difference, is there a difference between the words diversity and multicultural?
There really is, although I do use them interchangeably. Multicultural means many cultures, and that we focus on all the cultures and that these cultures can coexist peacefully together and harmoniously. Diversity means variety within a group. So when we're in a diverse group, you're going to have socioeconomic differences and sexual orientation differences and gender and race. So it's diversity within group, whereas multiculturalism focuses on many cultures and the fact that these cultures can coexist together.
You seem like you really like what you do.
I love what I do.
If you were going to do anything else, what would it be?
I'd be the editor of Cosmopolitan magazine.
That'd be a great job. Tell me, what do you have on your schedule for the rest of spring and into summer?
I am really, really excited that on Tuesday, April 26th of this year, we are going to at last sign the faculty exchange document between Marshall University and Alcorn State University. This project has been in the making for 2 years, so the culmination is coming. Their president will be here, our president will be here, of course, and we're going to officially sign that document, which means our faculty can go to Alcorn for a semester, and Alcorn's faculty can come here for a semester. And Alcorn State University is a historically black institution located in Mississippi. So we're going to have this incredible synergy between the two institutions, giving faculty an opportunity to teach with a completely different population, hopefully more energy on both parts, opportunities for networking and research and publication. So this partnership is going to be great for Marshall University.
Excuse me, how will faculty apply for
They'll
this?
go to my website and the information will be right there. All they have to do is fill out the application. The application will go to Alcorn. They will select the same thing on our end. So we're really excited about that. We are also offering housing for the Alcorn faculty that comes here, as well as dining services, and they are doing the same for our faculty that go there. And then after this, after 1 year of getting this off the ground, we will do a student exchange.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So we're excited about that.
So that's been a project that you've been thinking about.
2 full years we've been working on this.
Oh, that's great. And anything else you'd like to add today?
We are having a powwow on October 7th and 8th, working with the Shawnee tribe. This will be a first for Marshall University and for the community, a huge Native American powwow with the vendors and the dancers and the drums. It's going to be a great educational experience for our community.
Will that be on campus?
It will be on campus.
All right, and October
7th and 8th.
Well, we will look forward to that. We'll have you back on the show then.
Thanks, Leah.
We'll talk about it. Thanks for being
here. Glad to
here.
do it.
We'll be back with more of We Are Marshall Today after this break.
Crying, pom, pom, pom. Crying, chaka, chaka, cha.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many?
There we go.
Buzz driving is drunk driving.
From the classroom straight to your computer.
I teach international marketing online 100%. I conduct this class from my office, from my home, and it is 24/7 available to students across the country. I would say this has been one of the most challenging and rewarding experiences, not only for me, for my students as well.
Nationally accredited, affordable, convenient. MU Online.
Chad Pennington didn't lose many football games when he was Marshall's quarterback in the late 1990s, and he hasn't lost many friends since.
His First and 10 Foundation has awarded more than $1 million to charitable organizations in the tri-state, southern West Virginia, and East Tennessee.
So the name of the book is called Jump Frog Jump.
Reading to children doesn't come as natural to Chad Pennington as reading defenses. But it's probably a little safer, although the kids do know how to pressure the quarterback.
How does a turtle eat a snake?
I don't know. That's a good question.
How does a turtle?
Chad was back in the area recently to tour some of the agencies and organizations that have benefited from his First and 10 Foundation. Organizations such as Kiwanis Daycare in Huntington and Valley Woodworkers in Dunbar. Valley Woodworkers helps the Salvation Army help Santa by building toys.
Toy making process, we get most of our materials are donated. We do get grants from various donors around the community to help us with the stuff we cannot get donated. And we make what we feel are very high quality heirloom quality toys that hopefully can be passed down from generation to generation.
It's one of our favorite days of the year because we get a chance to go and meet the people that the money goes to and see the money in action, see the money work. And then we're able to show our donors and supporters where their hard-earned money goes. And so it's a great interaction for us, a great day for us to be able to get it back out in the community and just see what's happening. You would be surprised and amazed at all the good projects and good things that are going on across the tri-state area.
Another of those organizations receiving some funding is the Paul Ambrose Trail for Health. Chad says the 26-mile bicycle and pedestrian path is right in step with the mission of the foundation.
We really fell in love with the grant because with our foundation, we're really interested in trying to improve the quality of life. Especially with the health and wellness and being proactive in people's health and not reactive and trying to do some preventative things. And the trail was right up our alley as far as trying to do some preventative things and be a part of projects that are proactive in the health of the people of the tri-state area.
Madison, West Virginia also has a new playground with the support of the First and 10 Foundation and lots of community members.
I can drive by every day and never fails there's a bunch of kids playing on the playground now. We didn't used to have that until it just makes me feel like, I don't know, it just makes me feel like everybody's finally got somewhere to go.
It feels good because it's good for the community and all the kids in the community and helps out.
As far as football goes, Chad is coming off an injury last season, but he's optimistic he can help a team this year.
I'm riding the roller coaster of the Chad Pennington career in the NFL. It's certainly been a roller coaster, but it's been fun and it's been very rewarding for me. And so right now I'm in the process of rehabbing to see if I can make a fourth comeback. Don't really know where that's going to take me, but I'm really not concerned. I feel really confident in the challenge. I'm excited about the challenge. And I know that whatever happens, I can feel good about my effort to try to make a comeback.
The First and 10 Foundation's annual Celebrity Bowl fundraiser is coming up in May. And our thoughts are certainly with Chad. After we shot that story, he suffered a torn ACL during a pickup basketball game. Best of luck to him during the recovery. I'm Dan Hollis.
And I'm Leah Clark Payne. Join us next time for an update on Alumni Weekend and other Marshall news. See ya.